So if you don't mind asking, like about how many agents is that you have in your revenue share group now?
Okay, I brought in 16, and recently, through a few agents not selling or some agents doing attraction, I think I'm at 13.
Right.
And those 13 have brought on another 80-ish agents, so I have in the 90s.
Here's the big question.
How are agents like us,
who didn't get an opportunity to invest in a franchise early,
who are spending time and money to sell homes,
building someone else's saleable asset?
How do we grow a business but still build wealth?
Have an exit strategy
and get a piece of the pie that's not dependent
on us working more hours and every weekend?
That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer.
My name is Jay Kinder.
My name is Al Stasek.
And I'm Michael Reese. We are your hosts, and welcome to the OneBigFire podcast. If you want to build a business, if you want proven systems and a process that gives you time back so you can invest your time where it matters, if you want clarity of exactly what you need to do next, or you want a plan so you're not starting every month at zero, go to www.partnershipsurvey.com. Learn how you can partner with the dream team that has helped more agents exponentially grow their business and profits without having to pay us a dime. So go take the survey at partnershipsurvey.com.
Dan Hilsman, are you there?
Hey, Jay Kinder, I am here.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much. Good.
So, man, glad to have you on the OneBigFire podcast. I think a great place to start would be, for people who are tuning into the podcast and are looking to grow their business, the language we use is, why don't we grow OneBigFire together? What would you say has been your experience since partnering up with us? How would you explain OneBigFire to somebody?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, OneBigFire is, taking my fire and having the ability to connect with you guys. So gigantic leverage piece. I mean, before I'm a single agent in Cobb County, Georgia, and I do not have the access to, high level coaching or questions or help, mentoring, friendship. Consider you guys all above and more of those. So just having the access to you guys if needed to put my fire with your fire, I consider it, I'm just grateful. And it's an opportunity of a lifetime for me.
You say you have access to us, and I think that's important. Why don't you tell a little bit of people about how you ended up, getting in contact with Jay, what what made you decide to partner with us and, kind of your experience of joining us over here at EXP.
All right. Well, my situation was I had a gentleman come up to me at a quarterly company meeting, and he said, "What do you think?" He meant about the meeting, and I said I was pretty disgruntled and was going to look for a change. And he said, "Have you heard of EXP Realty?" And I said, "Yeah, but I don't think they're in Georgia." And he goes, "No, they're in Georgia. I got a guy I want you to talk to." So he was planning on maybe making a move to EXP. I talked to the guy that was potentially going to be his sponsor, and he kind of answered a lot of my questions just fine. But one of them, I said, "This is the most important question. Half my business is commissions, Inc. Need a really good answer." I already knew the answer, but I needed to hear it from him. He said, "Well, they match up. We have Commissions Inc. at EXP." I said, "They don't match up. I have a full-blown platform. You have a scaled-down platform." And he kind of brushed it off. Said, "Well, my wife handles that." So, thanked him for his time. Appreciated the help. And, I was really just doing due diligence. So, immediately called my friend back and said, "Hey, man, he can't be my sponsor. He blew the most important question, but I like the model." So, and he wasn't at EXP, so it couldn't go under him. So I started looking. I thought if I'm going to make this change, I'm going to find someone at EXP that's already there that I can trust, believe in, have a connection with. Maybe they'll have a coaching piece that they could help me with because I was in Proctor coaching. And just started doing research and found Jay Kinder on YouTube. So I went to YouTube, EXP, started consuming tons of video, and found Jay, messaged him, got him on the phone, talked to him, I don't know, a couple handfuls of times. And I came over rather quickly, about 5 weeks. But, after Jay, of course, you guys had the NAEA piece, so that was the coaching piece. So super relatable guy, and told me he would help me. I think one of the last phone calls I had with Jay prior to coming over, I said, man, you're really going to help me? I've been at my company for 5.5 years, and I knew everyone there. It was having my best 2 back-to-back years ever, so it seemed kind of strange that with a family, I was going to leave this company I was comfortable at, doing well with, and be sponsored by some guy. And at that time, I wasn't sure if it was Oklahoma or Texas. And he said, yeah, he'd help me and I would have access to him. And I believed him. And ever since then, I hop on Jay's calendar or Michael, your calendar, or Al Stacy's calendar and get all the help I need. So I try to be respectful of that, though. I don't ever call you guys, but I do get on your calendar as needed. And what a gigantic leverage piece that is. So
how many times do you think we've been on a call together, Dan Hilsman, since you've been at EXP? And how long has it been now? It's been over a year, right?
Yeah, just over a year.
So in a year, how many times would you guess that we've been on a call together?
Man, that's at least 50, probably closer to 75 times. Because, I mean, if you think about it, 5 times a month, I mean, sometimes, Jay, in the beginning it was 2 or 3 times a week, and then it was 1 or 2 times a week. And now it's a little bit less than that because I do have a lot of, but I still need you. I'll get on your calendar without thinking about it. So
I'm happy to do it. It's always a pleasure. I'm always happy when I see your name in my calendar.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to you, and I've got a couple more we'll be plugging into you here real soon.
So tell us about, first of all, how's your real estate business going?
Well, I look at my agent count also as part of my real estate business now. So now instead of having 2 pieces of buyers and sellers, I have buyers, sellers, and agents. And if you consider the agents, then my units, I don't like to think of people as units, but just in a strict business sense, then it's gone way up. So, trading a little bit of time for buyers and sellers to work and help agents see this model and present the opportunity to them. And so it's going real well. I'm excited about that. My agent attraction and that financial pillar is growing, and I think it's almost to the stage where it's taking on a little bit of life of its own.
That's exciting. So if you don't mind asking, about how many agents is that you have in your revenue share group now?
Okay, I've brought in 16, and recently, through a few agents not selling or some agents doing attraction, I think I'm at 13.
Right.
And those 13 have brought on another 80-ish agents, so I have in the 90s.
Right.
It's funny because me and Jay were just talking to an agent, and he's a producer. He got an ISA. He's doing a lot of business, and for him, he wants to focus on growing his real estate business. And what I always tell people, when they're thinking about putting their fire with our fire, is like, whether you want to focus on agent attraction or just growing your real estate business, inherently what we do is we think of you as a partner, and so we help you lay out your goals. When you first started, though, you weren't really even looking at revenue share. That wasn't even on your radar, right?
No, I mean, it was a hopeful piece. It was just a little piece. I saw the model and I got it right away. And I thought ultimately that would be the direction I would go. And that could be a big deal to my family. But yeah, I'm out selling real estate. So I was also super interested in the NAEA piece. And also getting away of $12,000 a year website piece and trading that in for trading in $1,000 without ad spend for $85 without ad spend.
So you're running on for those of you that don't know, one of the things when we put our fires together, I start with, do you want to do agent attraction? A lot of people, and this has just been my experience, either they need help getting their agents trained because they're frustrated with getting their agents to productivity, or they need more leads themselves. So in your scenario, you were getting leads, but you were able to reduce your costs and put that back into lead gen by getting, plugged into KV Core.
Yep, straight to the bottom line.
And so how many leads are you generating right now a month?
I'm about to crank that back up to 100. So prior to that, it's been 20 to 30, but a lot of my business recently has been past clients referral business. But
how confident are you that you can turn that on and on like a water faucet?
Yeah, it's just a matter of turning the switch. So get that going back again. Got an ISA. Jeff's going to make some follow-up calls with me. So it's really just a matter of connecting with you guys, getting some answers to some questions, getting some direction, and making it happen. So
Gotcha.
it's pretty easy.
So for an agent that that's looking, that they're like, listen, I really need help with lead generation. One things that you found yourself is you've been able to generate leads at a lower cost per lead because you don't have that big expensive overhead. Because when you joined EXP, you obviously got KV Core, and then in addition to that, you've been able to do some agent attraction, which has probably helped you generate additional revenue that you can invest in your business. I mean, would you say that right now it's easier for you to invest in your business than ever before?
It is. I mean, and without going into too much detail, Michael, some of the things I've done recently, and then even later this week, just to take that money and put it back into my business is, first time in my life that I really have opportunities to go, hey, what am I going to do with my time and my money? Not that I have a large amounts of either, but before, it was, hey, you better get up and stay on that hamster wheel and keep grinding it out and find your next buyer and work with your next seller. But now I can kind of take a breath and look around and go, I think I'll put some money over here and work on getting this established and then just get feedback from you guys every now and then on if you think I'm on the right course.
It's funny, Dan, the most of the clients that kind of came to us, in the past, from a coaching perspective, there was two things that they always needed. They always needed a platform and they always needed coaching. And so the cool thing about EXP, and if I remember right, with Proctor, you were going to have to pay $750 a month coaching as well, right?
Yeah, and that was a little discount that I had. So $750, and I was at $1,000 for my website without ad spend.
Well, that's $21,000 that you saved right out of the gate coming to EXP, and plus, you got our mentorship, to help you with all sides, and even the new pillar, and again, I think it's just important for people to think about it that way. Is it's just a new pillar. It's a new pillar to your revenue streams, and that's the agent attraction and the revenue share.
That's correct.
That's a pretty awesome story.
Yeah, well, and without going into a whole lot of detail, Jay, and with me though, that was a large percentage. I'm not a mega producing agent, so that 21,000 was a lot bigger of a percent per agent than some of your folks that you deal with.
Absolutely.
So that's a big deal.
So right now. Let me ask you, if an agent was listening to today's podcast and you could say, here's my experience, what would you tell them are some, based upon your experience, what are some reasons, if they're wanting to grow their business and they're at the end of the day wanting to make more money, what would you tell them? Why should they come over to EXP versus staying where they were?
Well, one thing that I mentioned to Jay in Key West, I said, look, there's one piece of this that I can talk to every single agent about. So to answer your question, they're either like I was spending $1,000 a month for a platform, and they could reduce that to $85 a month with a whole lot of other things included within that, or they don't have a platform. So instead of spending $1,000 a month, they can spend $85 a month and have a lead generation platform that's pretty much top of the line and will do everything that they need it to do if they'll work it a little bit.
So basically, it's more economic. The economics are there that they don't have to have the big overhead. See, what I see is, and this is just complete transparency. When I grew a team, most agents would join my team and they wouldn't spend the $21,000 because they didn't have it to spend. They would just give me half of their commission.
Right. Exactly.
So you don't, instead of going out and the value proposition I had when you joined my team was, hey, I'll give you leads. And if you work those leads, then, we'll be on a split. I feel like what EXP does is if you're going to join a team, they make the team increase the value proposition to be above and beyond just giving them some leads, because that's kind of like a table stake. Anybody can have leads, kind of at will, in an affordable way, because the platform is included and some of those other things, Let me ask you this question. So when you're out there talking to people about EXP, what's the biggest misconception you see?
Incomplete information. They just have a little tiny piece of information and then they make up their mind. And and close their mind to the rest of the information. So, yeah, it'd be finding an opportunity to sit down with somebody, get them to open their mind a little bit and tell them the rest of the story, and or our story, which is not the typical EXP story, because you could go find some other agent at EXP that does not have the support that I have with us all working together, and that's a massive piece of this puzzle. So, when I found EXP, I was like, "This is awesome! I'm going to do this." But then finding you guys is the icing on the cake. I mean, it really, really sets us apart from. I love the company, love the model, but we do have a big advantage with the tools with you guys, NAEA, and just the support and the being able to reach out through our Facebook group to a lot of other high-level agents across North America and Canada, North America.
That's awesome. Well, last question. We first of all, we appreciate working with you. We're excited about what you've been doing and your willingness to jump on and give back to the community. So many people are trying to really measure, whether they should join up, whether they should put all their fires together, and grow OneBigFire. And we definitely appreciate you. I know that you've been training a lot of agents now, and you're helping a lot of the people that are coming on board. You treat somebody in your backyard when they come on board. You're just as accessible like we are. You're helping them like we're helping you. It's almost like it's duplication that everybody's trying to help everybody. Would you agree?
100%.
Cool, man. Well, we appreciate you jumping on today, Mr. Hilsman. Hey, like we said, if you're looking to grow your business, if you'd like to have help, if you'd like to get clarity, if you'd like more leads, if you want to grow, increase your productivity, if personally are the agents that you're attracting, or you just want to have a better business model and you'd like to work with us, there could be an exclusive opportunity. You can go to partnershipsurvey.com and fill out the survey. After you do, there's a short little video that walks you through the details of what the partnerships look like. It walks you through what we're doing over here, why we're putting all of our fires together, and what that actually means. You can watch the video. If you like what you see, there's a link where you can jump on my calendar or Jay's calendar. We'd love to jump on a call, a confidential call, answer any questions, see if it might be a good fit. If it is, we would love to partner up with you and help you build your business by putting all of our fires together. And, I think Jay said it best. Once you really see it,
you can't unsee it.
Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, guys.